Pac-Man has been receiving greater limelight in the realm of video games in the past half-decade than I ever thought he would in the modern day. As the most recent example, the iconic rotund mascot made a shocking shift to surreal 2D action in the form of Shadow Labyrinth, which originated from a horror-esque Amazon Prime short. Now, in an almost comedic 180, we're receiving a remake of the bright-eyed and vibrant platformer Pac-Man World 2 as Pac-Man World 2 Re-Pac. Personally, I fell in love with Shadow Labyrinth's demanding Metroidvania design and grim ambiance, while still adoring the relatively traditionally linear 3D platforming of Pac-Man World 1 Re-Pac. So I've been sitting pretty in terms of output from this IP, and that has continued in stride. Given the monolith of significant releases this year, I was anticipating Pac-Man World 2 Re-Pac as a delightfully enjoyable reprieve, and that's precisely what I experienced. World 2 has a bit more of a plot than its predecessor, as the classic four ghosts, namely Blinky, Inky, Pinky, and Clyde, sneak into Pac-Village and out of an affinity for mischief, steal a major, seemingly mythical item known as the Golden Fruit. This feat, much to the group's initial astonishment, gives rise to the Ghost King, Spooky. This supernatural being is immediately wrathful, seeking to cause ceaseless chaos, and the four ghosts become his minions, using the Golden Fruit to boost their combative prowess. A consequence of Spooky's revival and the Golden Fruit being robbed is that the scenery is littered with vines, and aggressive creatures are on the prowl. Naturally, Pac-Man aims to resolve this conflict to the best of his ability as soon as he learns of it, prompting a quintessential quest. Still, for as obligatory as this plot is, its simplistic charm can be a palate cleanser, and there's also an unexpected, albeit minor, inclusion here. The Packing Man himself is voiced in this remake, with Martin T. Sherman reprising his role from his time in 2005's Pac-Man World 3.
Boy, am I tired. Could have sworn I felt eyes on the back of my neck all last night. Oh.
Admittedly, there's only a handful of cutscenes, but I do appreciate how unironically well-meaning and wholesome his lines and deliveries come across, which does feel a tad rare these days. The full story and other characters are voiced too, not just Pac-Man, so that's a noticeable step up in presentation. Regardless, every prospective fan is going to be present here for the gameplay, and this sequel delivers on that front phenomenally, boasting an excellent advancement from the previous remake. It doesn't ditch the identity of what was already in place, that being mostly linear platforming stages with hordes of collectibles and occasional side paths to uncover. Additionally, Pac-Man's moveset is fundamentally similar, comprising jumps, quick hitting, and butt bouncing to prevail against several foes and platforming challenges. The butt bounce has a supercharged variant enabling reach to higher spots too, initiated by timing the standard move. It's a neat supplemental addition that adds a seasoning of light decision-making to keep exploration refreshingly dynamic. Projectile throwing via collectible pellets is a returning feature I highly valued in this go-around, as I utilized it more frequently than in the first Re-Pac, with prizes and foe striking benefiting well from the range. Then there's the rollout, that besides letting Pac-Man ascend steep inclines once in a while, is terrific for gaining quick bursts of speed. During the optional time trials, I found myself utilizing this technique perhaps too excessively. The flutter jump, a move that lets Pac-Man stay airborne for just a second or two longer, is another notable maneuver, as it's crucial for late-game fruit gathering. In short, there's an impressive array of intuitive movement options at your disposal, all bolstered by gratifying semi-open-ended level design that rewards going off the beaten path and performing moderate examinations of your surroundings. Further, the difficulty ramps up in the end stages, doubly so in the epilogue campaign, which contains more demanding iterations of previous levels. Platforming veterans in particular will be thrilled by this content. Still, Fairy Mode is present for those seeking easier progression. Replay value is deeply embedded within this title's DNA as well, with each stage, including bosses, having missions and the aforementioned time trials, the latter of which is outfitted with specific rankings. As for the missions, they're usually tied to time trial mode, collecting every fruit in a stage and occasionally other supplemental tasks. They're addictively enjoyable divergences, though I wish there were more unique ones per stage. At least the bosses tend to be moderately rigorous past the first two or so, ensuring they're meaningful obstacles and not just compulsory gameplay filler. Moreover, across the themed worlds you traverse in Re-Pac 2, environment-specific gimmicks make themselves known, particularly in the later hours. For instance, you have a suite of underwater stages that partially put Pac-Man in an auto-scrolling submarine, as well as other stages implementing inline skates for swifter traversal. These alterations in the status quo are neat concepts that, for the most part, work out reasonably well. I was especially surprised by how smooth and brisk the underwater swimming movements were, even if throwing projectiles was often more irksome than necessary. Still, I find the second half of the main game to stray from traditional platforming a bit too much. Plus, breaks from the tried-and-true gameplay loop already exist in the hub Pac-Village. In this locale, which is gradually freshened up amid story progress, features a handful of interactable villagers, plenty of collectibles, and even some side tasks, most prominently in the form of arcade games in the style of the original Pac-Man, except with a few twists like environmental hazards and being able to use the rollout for swifter pellet clears. Other features include a gashapon machine using medals from stages. It grants cosmetic statues that can be placed around the village. While clearing levels can also earn these items, the gashapon is substantially more lucrative in sheer quantity. These prizes aren't anything crazy, though they do aid in providing a sense of completeness and accomplishment. Speaking of, you can earn countless outfits for Pac-Man as mission completion gifts. It's neat not seeing the vast majority of cosmetic add-ons affixed to DLC or pre-order bonuses. Lastly, I should mention the two-player mode, which merely amounts to a controllable drone providing minor assistance, ideal for much younger family members. The first Pac-Man World Re-Pac was a comforting, refined blast from the past, and Pac-Man 2 Re-Pac is an even more enjoyable actualization of that concept. Alongside its gorgeously vivid visuals and flawless performance stands a top-of-the-line 3D platformer boasting layered stage design, potent replayability, and memorable variety. Despite the infrequent hiccups with level pacing and underwhelming rewards, playing Pac-Man World 2 Re-Pac is bountifully rewarding in itself. In the near future, we have a Sonic the Hedgehog crossover collaboration to look forward to, and now we're left wondering if the black sheep of a third entry will ever get revisited. Most likely not, considering how it's nowhere near as beloved as the first two games, but stranger things have happened. Noisy Pixel is giving Pac-Man World 2 Re-Pac an 8 out of 10. Thanks for watching, and thanks to our supporters on Patreon for making our coverage possible. Go to patreon.com/noisypixel if you'd like to join them, and receive our monthly digital magazine in addition to our eternal thanks. Noisy Pixel is an independent operation working hard to bring you news, reviews, previews, and more. Leave a comment below to start a conversation, come talk nerdy with us in our community Discord, and subscribe to keep up with all of our future content.
Noisy Pixel.